Good, happy Monday afternoon, January 18, 2021. I'm Riley King, and welcome to this Monday afternoon edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. We have a lot of news to get to this Monday afternoon, so let's begin. First up, we're following breaking news coming into our newsroom. Pease Airport evacuated after a threat received over fax, officials say. Nothing found in search so far. The Portsmouth International Airport at Pease was evacuated Monday morning after the facility received a threat over fax, officials said. The airport was evacuated just before 10 a.m. Officials said they were searching the airport and construction areas by 11:30 a.m. About 80% of the facility has been cleared and nothing suspicious has been found, officials said. This is breaking news story and it will be updated as more information comes into our newsroom. And now let's take a look at your COVID-19 updates. COVID-19 in New Hampshire, key data, maps, and graphs. Let's take a look at that information for all of you right now. And here is a look at that information for all of you right now. There are 56,056,864 number of people in New Hampshire have tested positive for COVID-19. 23,896,221 number of people in the United States have tested positive. 933 number of deaths from COVID-19 in New Hampshire. 243 current number of hospitalizations for COVID-19 in New Hampshire. And 258 number of deaths from COVID-19 in the United States. Now let's take a look at this map of New Hampshire where current cases of COVID-19 are. In Nashua, 69. And let's take a look at this map of New Hampshire where total cases of COVID-19 are. Nashua, 5,028. And now let's take a look at these three charts here. Let's start with the first chart here. New cases each day in New Hampshire. In the purple, daily new positive COVID-19 cases. Orange, new hospitalization. And red, deaths. Let's take a look at this chart here. Current cases in the purple. Total current COVID-19 cases. In orange, current hospitalization. Let's take a look at this chart here. Total cases in the purple. Total positive COVID-19 cases. Orange, total hospitalization. Red, deaths. And blue, recovered. Let's take a look at this chart here. Positive PCR test rate, positive PCR and antigen test rate, and daily PCR test. Let's take a look at this chart here. Age group of cases, and female and male of cases. And let's take a look at this chart here. Infections, hospitalizations, and deaths. And let's take a look at this chart here. Deaths, percent of New Hampshire population, race/ethnicity of cases, into hospitalizations. And a reminder, your common symptoms: fever, lack of smell, cough, chill, difficult breathing, nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea. How it spreads, and prevention tips. And be sure to stay with the Riley King Network for the latest of your COVID-19 information. New Hampshire National Guard troops assisting with inaugural security in Washington, part of the 25,000 National Guardmen assisting local authorities in Washington, D.C. for the upcoming inauguration. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
We all know the havoc climate change has wrought on our lives. That's why America's architects are taking action to ensure every building emits no...
Members of the New Hampshire Army and Air National Guard arrived at Joint Base Andrews in Maryland on Saturday. Senator Maggie Hassan on hand to welcome them. They are part of a group of 25,000 National Guardsmen who have been authorized to help provide security at Wednesday's presidential inauguration in the wake of the assault on the U.S. Capitol.
I have to say I saw the same photos that I think everyone else did and wasn't really sure exactly what to expect.
Major Brooks Hayward is the officer in charge of the New Hampshire unit.
When we got on the ground last night, I was pleasantly surprised with how well we're being supported and how well we're being taken care of by both the city as well as the military here.
Major Hayward and his team will support local law enforcement and federal authorities in D.C.
Our first priority really is to help protect the people and property down here, to facilitate the peaceful transfer of the presidency.
For myself, anyways, this is really my first big real-world mission. I was glad to get the phone call, and I was glad to be able to respond.
We have about 25 members of security forces here right now, and we are working with the Army National Guard.
This is it's an historic mission, and it gives us all a chance to come and do our part to help the country.
Now, the New Hampshire National Guard hopes to have its team back home here in the Granite State next weekend, but they say that all depends on how the situation develops down in D.C. Reporting live tonight, I'm Tim Callery, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. "211 Hotline helping schedule vaccine appointments in New Hampshire starting on Friday. Scheduling available online or by phone. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
You wouldn't look at me and say, oh, this is someone who's the face of heart disease, but I am. I had to fight for my life. I wouldn't be here today without all of you.
United Way's 211 hotline has been around for 13 years, connecting people to services around the state. But helping during the pandemic may be its most important mission yet. Calls to 211 more than doubled in 2020, almost half of them COVID-related.
This is truly a partnership. 211 is a nonprofit.
As virus cases surge, calls to 211 have too, with more expected when Granite Staters ages 65 and older can schedule their vaccine appointments starting Friday. They're urged to do so by visiting vaccines.nh.gov or call 211 and listen for the prompts.
If you are calling for information regarding COVID-19, please press 3.
And you will speak to a real person. Okay, depending on call volume any particular day. We've usually been able to handle calls in under a couple of minutes. There are some days where it's longer.
211 is a partnership between multiple agencies, including the state, which has upwards of 25 call takers handling COVID calls Mondays through Saturdays.
Anytime that we're not available, it goes to the New England Call Center, which again is a piece of Granite United Way. So there is always someone available to speak with.
Extra staff members are being brought on this week and beyond as the demand warrants it.
We're here to help the citizens of New Hampshire to get them the answers that they need in regards to vaccine and COVID.
If people don't know where to go, call 211. We're here to help.
Mike Cronin, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Good information there. So if you don't know where to go, call 211. They're there to help you guys. Officials released the identity and autopsy results in Concord suspicious death case. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Using Proactive, my acne completely went away.
I started seeing improvements in just like the evenness of my skin.
What? I'm not feeling any bumps? Get that clear
Right now, the Attorney General's office says it is looking into the potential of a self-defense claim in connection to a homicide in Concord. Saturday morning, police responded to a disturbance call outside a fourth-floor apartment on Warren Street and found 28-year-old Terrence Wigglesworth suffering from a gunshot wound to the chest. He died at the scene. Concord police are asking anyone with information to contact them.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Convicted Milford bank robber sentenced for another bank robbery. Samuel Murphy is heading back to prison for 82 months after being convicted of robbing the People's United Bank in Derry of $712,000. A convicted New Hampshire bank robber has been sentenced to nearly 7 years in prison on another bank robbery charge. Samuel Murphy, 38, of Milford, New Hampshire, received an 82-month sentence Thursday in U.S. District Court for robbing the People's United Bank in Derry in January 2020. He pleaded guilty to the charge in October of 2020. Murphy, according to court documents, passed a note to a teller demanding money and saying he was armed with a gun. The teller gave him $712. He then fled the bank, but was seen by police heading to a fast food restaurant where they arrested him and recovered the money. Murphy was on federal supervision released at the time of the robbery, noted U.S. Attorney Scott Murray. Bank robberies are serious violation crimes that can jeopardize public safety and terrorize victims, he added. I am grateful for the fast response of the Derry Police Department and that hard work of the FBI. Their efforts allowed us to protect the public and get this dangerous criminal off the streets. Joseph, the special agent in charge of the FBI division, agreed. This is not Samuel Murphy's first robbery, he said. When given a chance at rehabilitation to do better and be better, he chose the bad way instead and terrorized employees of a second bank by threatening to start shooting if his demands weren't met. New Hampshire is a safer with him behind bars, and we thank our law enforcement partners on the Derry Police Department for helping us hold this reckless criminal accountable. Murphy was convicted of robbing the Citizens Bank location inside the Stratham Shaws back in February of 2015. He was arrested the next day in Tewksbury, Massachusetts, hiding out in a Motel 6. Murphy was sentenced to prison for 51 months in May of 2016. Previous criminal incidents also include the theft of a gold necklace and stealing a wallet from a purse in December of 2014 in Nashua. And here is a photo of the suspect here. free COVID-19 testing on Tuesdays and Thursdays in January. For those who live in the greater Manchester area, call the Manchester COVID-19 hotline at 603-668-1547 for a free PCR-based testing appointment. This is not a rapid test. The hotline is available Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 603-668-1547. Testing appointments are required. Please note the hotline will be closed today. Black leaders in New Hampshire reflect on racial injustice efforts. Let's take a listen to that video from the Riley King Network. Black leaders in New Hampshire reflect on racial injustice efforts ahead of Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Today is Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Granite staters leading the efforts for racial justice are reflecting on the tragedies and protests occurring within the last year and what they mean for the future. News 9 spoke with people who are trying to make a difference and create change. They have seen progress, but said there is more work to be done. Last year, undoubtedly, social justice and racial justice became a topic that all of us had to discuss in some form, said Ryan Harrell of Nashua. We've seen a large awakening of people understanding that racism is real. Black Lives Matter, a Manchester co-founder, Tyrell Whitted, said. In 2020, demands for racial justice grew louder and louder. Protesters followed different killings of Black Americans, with some caught on video. They were really almost the straw that broke the camel's back for so many people. NAACP Manchester President James McKim said, "There are things happening in the state. There are things that have happened because of the tragedies of last year. That's carrying over into this year. I'm seeing already people want to continue that work, even after the holiday break." While tangible progress is recognized, leaders see change continuing through more conversations. Be in dialogue. Don't be afraid to talk about this issue. We are in our society taught to stay away from politics, social justice issues in our conversations, McKim said. We can't stay away from them if we want to resolve them. We just have to treat each other with more grace and more diligence and understanding that all of us are trying to do the best for our communities and our individual cells and our family, Carroll said. McKim served on one of the commissions assembled by Governor Sununu after the death of George Floyd. He said he has taken part in polite bias training with prosecutors and sees similar efforts with other lawyers, judges, and in the healthcare industry. And that is it for this news report right here on the Riley King Network. Thank you for watching this news report on the Riley King Network. I'm Riley King, reporting for the Riley King Network. Goodbye, everyone. Okay, and there you go on that report. And Trump prepares for second impeachment hearing during last days in office. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
House with that impeachment trial in the Senate looming. The House could send the article of impeachment to the Senate as early as tomorrow. The trial could begin on Wednesday, yes, Inauguration Day. Cecilia Vega has the latest for us. Good morning, Cecilia.
Robin, good morning to you. So this president who seemed to relish his time in the spotlight is spending his final days in isolation. We have not seen President Trump publicly in 6 days, and he hasn't had anything significant on his public schedule in that same amount of time, except for a note from his aides who say that he is working from early in the morning until late in the evening, making many calls and taking many meetings. This morning, President Trump on the verge of his second impeachment trial, but his defense still in disarray. His personal lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, spotted at the White House over the weekend, said he was working on the case. But overnight, Giuliani now telling ABC News he won't be on the president's legal team after all, saying his role in the rally before the riot makes him a witness. He was among those who whipped the mob into a frenzy before they stormed the Capitol.
Let's have trial by combat!
The two lawyers who led the president's defense during his first impeachment also aren't expected to represent him this time. And the clock is ticking. With House Speaker Nancy Pelosi expected to send the article of impeachment to the Senate any day now, his impeachment trial could begin as soon as Inauguration Day.
This was the most serious presidential crime in the history of the United States of America, the most dangerous crime by a president ever committed against the United States.
Democrats need at least 17 Republicans to vote with them in order to convict the president. Their goal, to block him from ever running for office again. But allies like Lindsey Graham pushing for the Senate to dismiss the case.
Impeaching him after he leaves office is not only unconstitutional, from a Republican point of view, it would destroy our party.
President Trump remains isolated inside the White House, his final days in office spent mostly alone. Described as a pariah in Washington, he's livid and foregoing all the niceties that a sitting president usually extends to his successor. A morning greeting at the White House, not happening. Same for a shared limo ride. In fact, President Trump is refusing to attend the inauguration altogether, the first president in more than 150 years to do so. There wasn't even a phone call to congratulate Joe Biden. Instead, the Trumps will leave town early Wednesday morning, hours before the swearing-in ceremony. The send-off exactly what President Trump wanted. He'll be surrounded by uniformed military at Joint Base Andrews. There will be a military band and a red carpet flanked by troops as he boards Air Force One for the last time. There may even be an Air Force fighter jet flyover just as he heads to his new home, Mar-a-Lago. Now, in these final days, President Trump is expected to issue a flurry of pardons and commutations, potentially more than 100. A self-pardon does remain a possibility, even though his lawyers have strongly advised against that and privately have told others that they could quit if the president decides to go that route. And on top of all of that, TJ, our new poll shows that an overwhelming majority of Americans is opposed to this move of President Trump pardoning himself. You can see it right there. 68% say they do not want to see him do this.
But we shall see. All right, Cecilia Vega for us, thank you so much.
Well, hey there, GMA.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And take a look at this photo. Look at this photo from a viewer on uLocal. Cam Scalaris, a uLocal person, uploaded this photo. Look how beautiful this is. Above Hampton Beach area. Wow, that is so beautiful. Cool, cool, cool. Wonderful photo. And that is it for this afternoon edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. Have a great rest of your afternoon, everyone. I'll see you back here later on for another newscast. I'll have a news report coming up in a little bit. Goodbye, everyone.